Nothing much happens in the South African Army after 3:30 on Friday afternoons. On one such afternoon in February 1991, I had just seen my last patient and was packing up when my desk phone rang. I'd been in the Army for almost 8 months as a medic and was running an ENT, ear, nose and throat clinic, for military personnel. I picked up. Offering no pleasantries, a male voice barked orders in Afrikaans. "Present yourself in officer's uniform to the Lieutenant Colonel at the Witwatersrand High Command at the City Barracks in Twist Street at 16:30. Before I could ask why or what I'd done wrong, the line was dead. I was a second lieutenant, the most junior rank of officer. That command centre was the largest in the Army. To make things worse, my step-outs were at home and not in a presentable state. I looked at my watch. I had 45 minutes. As I got to the car, I counted myself lucky not to have ducked out a few minutes earlier. Imagine missing such a call. I sped down the highway and, from my new brick of a mobile phone, called home. No answer. Oh, no. At our house, I got dressed as best I could. Back on the highway, I called again. My wife answered. "Linda, I don't know what I've done, but something is terribly wrong, and I think I'm going to be court-martialed. Don't expect me for dinner. Tell the guests anything. I may be shot." She told me to stop babbling, and said I was overreacting. But then she didn't understand how the Army functioned and what an out-of-the-ordinary command this was. When I skidded through the gates of the barracks at 4:32, I recognized the officer who was waiting for me. We'd been on a couple of training courses together, but he didn't acknowledge me. He looked me up and down. "Lieutenant, you're late," is all he said, as he marched me down a corridor towards the large desk behind which the top brass sat. I saluted, stood to attention, and braced to hear my fate. Without looking up, the Lieutenant Colonel said in Afrikaans, "I've received intelligence that tonight there may be an assassination attempt on Mandela." Without looking at me, or pausing, he began a rapid briefing. "Mandela and President F.W. de Klerk will receive a joint media award at 1900 hours at the Johannesburg Country Club. Each will receive the Johannesburg Press Club's 1990 Newsmaker of the Year award. Each will make a speech. You will set up medical facilities to manage the assassination attempt." The room felt airless. The briefing continued. 2 military ambulances and 2 helicopters would be on site, and I was to set up 2 resuscitation stations and coordinate the whole operation. I would have all the staff necessary to get this done. The plan was that Mandela would walk up first and speak from a lectern at the corner of the stage. A heavy velvet curtain would be drawn across the stage, and I was to stand immediately behind the curtain, as close as I could get to him. The intelligence was that he would be shot at the lectern. If and when he returned to his seat, President de Klerk would then come up, and I was to remain in position. I would be given a civilian suit to wear. By now, I was wiggling my toes, an old parade ground trick to avoid passing out. When the briefing finished, I nervously raised an issue. "Colonel, if I stand behind Mr. Mandela and he gets shot, I'll likely take a bullet too, and there won't be anyone to—" For the first time he glanced up and with a sneer cut me off. "Orders are orders. Dismissed." From the Army stores, where one size fits no one, I was handed a dark blue suit, a white shirt, and a tie. I found a moment to call Linda to say I had to attend a function but couldn't disclose the details. I definitely wouldn't be home for the Sabbath meal. She asked why I had been chosen. I had no idea. Perhaps it was because my clinic at the J.G. Stradum Hospital was 2 kilometres from the country club. But then this hospital, named after a former apartheid prime minister, was not yet admitting people of colour. But helicopters would be there to take the injured to One Mill in Pretoria, the biggest military hospital in Africa. Things were happening so fast I couldn't think beyond the immediate logistics.